Namaste yogis, and welcome back to Abba Yoga Online. I'm Chris and I'm here with my co-model Debbie, who's here to help us today. Thanks Debbie, knuckles to Debbie. And today Debbie has been for a long run. She's run 24 miles and she's ready for a stretch afterwards, as I'm sure some of you runners will be. So Debbie's going to start by coming into a really nice forward fold. Just to release, Debbie, if you turn to the side, so that's it. Just to release all the way through the posterior chain. Nice long lingering forward fold. And maybe even grabbing a hold of opposite elbows, so gravity can just extend down through the shoulders, through the crown of the head. And this is a good one even if you're halfway through a run and you just fancy getting a breather and extending through the whole posterior chain and releasing and relaxing. Maybe take a moment, come off to the side, find your breath, come into a forward fold and allow this beautiful release all the way through. Good. When Debbie's ready, I'd like her to unhook her elbows and take a giant step back with the left leg towards the back of the mat and then rotate forward into a wide-legged forward fold. So we'll come back into a wide-legged forward fold, also known as runner's relief. So what's happening now is Debbie's giving herself a really nice opportunity for the whole of the hamstrings to open up, the groin to open up, the low and the middle back to open up. Maybe really nice, long, gentle breaths. All the way in for one, and all the way out for two. One more, inhale. Exhale, soften. Good, and then rotating back to the front, bending through the right knee. Debbie's going to come into a really nice long runner's lunge. Softening the left knee onto the ground and then inhaling both hands up towards the sky. The target area here is to extend and relieve all the way through the front left hip flexor. So rectus femoris and coming into the hip flexors, maybe even a little bit of the psoas muscle and the iliacus muscle and opening up through the heart space and the chest as well. Just allowing the whole of the front body to open as maybe softening the hips a little closer to the ground if that's comfortable. Always working within your own range. There's no point in trying any harder than that. Good. Taking another long breath all the way in. Stay for a full exhale. This time as you inhale, walk the left knee back underneath the hip to bring both knees into 90-degree angles, triangles, and float your right hand down onto your right thigh. Bring it in a little bit closer. And then inhale. Let's come through the frontal plane to inhale the left elbow up and over the left shoulder. So keeping all of this in line to get a beautiful opening through the left side of the body and the left IT band. So a big stretch through the outer left hip. Maybe you can inhale to only breathe into the left lung, opening up through all the intercostal muscles in between the ribs. For one more long breath in. Stay for the whole exhale. Good. Then inhale, both hands straight back up. Reach up through the heart space. And exhale to bring both your hands to rest on the front knee. And we'll take the stretch a little deeper into the psoas muscle, the iliacus muscle. So I need you to press your spine backwards. So Debbie, if you flex through your spine and arch your spine backwards and raise your shoulders a little higher, come a little higher. That's it, and then press into my hand, that's it. We're moving the insertion point for the psoas muscle and the iliacus muscle to the deeper hip flexors to get a good stretch here. And if you imagine when you take a step, it's the hip flexors which lift your big heavy leg, the big heavy bones and muscles off the floor. They get contracted and released, contracted and released, contracted and released every time we take a step. So it's important to allow these muscles to refresh and extend back to their natural length. One more long breath in. Exhale all the way. And then as you're ready, I'd like you to float your right hand down to the inside of your right foot. And then just bring your left hand onto the ground in line. And we're targeting now the inner right thigh, in particular a tiny muscle called pectineus. It's a little groin muscle that also works in hip flexion as well. You'll notice the inside of your right shoulder just inside your right knee. You can just about see this on Debbie. And what Debbie's going to do is take a breath in, and as she exhales, she'll just gently walk the hands forward while sliding the shoulder down the inside of her right shin. And you'll get a really nice stretch from the inner right groin. In particular, this little muscle, pectineus muscle, which is a groin muscle, but it's also used in hip flexion as well. It's quite a hard one to get into, so we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Long breath all the way in. Beautiful breath clears it all the way out. Good. One more long breath in. And this time as you exhale, come up a little bit. And see if you can shimmy your right foot forward. We'll come into a half splits. So we're now taking the stretch beyond just the inner right thigh, all the way through the right hamstring and calf muscle. So Debbie's coming into half splits here, half Hanuman. You can see that her left hip is above her left knee. If you sent your left knee back, bring it back in. Good. And then when you're ready, take a big breath in. And exhale to attempt to soften your right shoulder down towards your right knee. Maybe you can draw your toes in towards the hips. Good, so you're getting a really nice long opening through the right hamstring and calf muscle. Remember not to go deeper than your own range. We're just working to that soft edge of your own range. If Debbie's going deeper than you do, ease back. If you're finding this super easy, maybe you wish to straighten out through your left leg as well. For one more long breath in, and a beautiful gentle exhale all the way out. Good. And then when you're ready, take a breath in, and this time as you exhale, straighten through your left leg and step your right leg back. Come on back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So send your hip bones up and draw your chest in towards your thighs. Maybe you can rotate through your pelvis to send the sit bones a little higher and bring a little lordotic curve through your low back. It can be really helpful to, unless you've got massive range as Debbie has, to bend the knees a little bit and then rotate the hips up a little higher. Keep a beautiful neutral curve through the spine as you stay long and soft through the neck. Breath is still flowing through the body, feeding you with this beautiful energy, and exhaling, letting go of all the old dis-ease and debris from your life. Beautiful. From here, take a long breath in, and as you exhale, float your right leg up and over the back of your left leg and press the ball of your right foot into the bottom left corner of your mat. And you'll see here that Debbie's getting a really nice stretch through her right Achilles tendon. It's a personal journey. You can choose how much weight to keep in your left foot. If you've got lots of range, you might begin to lift the left foot off the floor and put more stretch, as Debbie is, through the Achilles tendon. Or if your tendon is tight and sore, don't be afraid to put lots of support through the left foot to keep this. Good. For one more long breath in. Stay for the whole exhale. Another full breath in. Good. And then as you exhale, float that right leg all the way back into your downward facing dog. Take a couple of long, rich breaths in here. And we'll set up for the other side. Facing dog. So if you gently inhale to float your left leg this time towards the sky, and exhale, draw your left knee powerfully in towards your chest and step it on forward and soften your right knee onto the ground. Doing the same on the opposite side, we're now going to inhale to raise both hands towards the sky, getting a really nice deep stretch through your right hip flexor as you lift your heart space a little higher. Maybe you can broaden through your hands, soften your hips forward a little more. Good, stay strong with your breath for one more long breath in. And stay for the whole exhale. And then when you're ready, float both your hands onto your thigh, slide your left hand up your left thigh, and then inhale your right hand up and over your right shoulder, coming into the frontal plane. This time you're opening up through the opposite side, your right rib cage. Try not to let your head or your elbow drop forwards. Try and stay inside the frontal plane. Long breaths in through the right lung. Exhaling, there's a stretch going all the way from the outer right shoulder down through the outer right thigh to the right knee. Beautiful. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Then inhale, both hands up towards the sky. Little balance work there. And then exhale, bring both your hands onto your left knee, and we'll take the stretch a little deeper into the psoas muscle. Walk your knee forward for me a little bit so it's a right angle in your right knee. Good. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, flex your spine. So if you come up for me a little bit more, Debbie. What I need you to do is breathe into my hand. So that's it. That's beautiful. Awesome. crown of the head goes forward, spine arches backwards. We're taking the insertion point for the psoas muscle at the base of spine backwards to stretch that deeper hip flexor. May feel a little awkward for you to start with. When you do it a few times, you'll start to get a beautiful lengthening and a softness through the hips. For one more long breath. Good. Stay for the exhale. Nice. Inhale to release the hands from the knee and float both hands down to the floor. Left hand in line with the left foot. This time you can see Debbie's shoulder just on the inside of the left knee, just on the inside of the left knee. Taking a breath in, you'll see her walk her hands forward and slide the shoulder down the inside of her left shin, which is bringing, as you'll feel this at home, the stretch into the inner left thigh. Little pectineus muscle, getting a beautiful stretch here. Staying long with your breath. Target area is the inner left thigh, and you'll feel this if your right knee is directly below your right hip. Take another long breath in. Doesn't matter if your elbows touch the floor or not, just walk them forward so it's comfortable and stay inside your own range. Good. One more long breath. Clear it out. And then as you're ready, come up slightly through the shoulders and start to walk the left foot towards the front of the mat. Just heel toe it forward if you like. Coming into a half splits, taking the stretch all the way through the left hamstring and calf muscle. Maybe you can soften your left shoulder down towards your left knee a little bit more as you exhale. Maybe you can draw your left toes a little closer in towards your hip, getting a really nice stretch in through the left calf muscle. If you wish to come a little bit deeper this time, you can move your left hand backwards along the mat and take your right hand up and over your left ankle. And this will bring a slightly deeper stretch into the IT band as well as the hamstring. Go for two more really nice, long, gentle, softening breaths. Awesome. One more really long, gentle breath, opening up through the outer left thigh. Good. And then as you're ready, take a breath and exhale to bring your hands back to center and step your left foot back. Breathe out to find downward facing dog again, rotating your sit bones up towards the sky. Maybe you can draw your chest in towards your thighs a little as you now inhale to float your left leg up and over the back of your right calf, pressing the toes towards the bottom left corner of your mat. You can choose how much of your weight to take out of your right foot, getting a really lovely extension stretch through your left Achilles tendon. Be careful though, this is a really thick strap of tendon here with not very much blood in it. If it becomes injured, it's hard to heal because of the lack of blood. So we just need to keep a nice gentle stretch here. How much stretch you put through your own Achilles tendon is always a personal journey, and it will change on good days. If you've just been for a long run, you may find that that's different to first thing in the morning. So as you are here right now, just choosing how much weight comes in and out of your right foot to gear up how much stretch you put through here. For one more long breath in. Exhale, soften a little more. Then inhale, float that leg back into downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, clear it on out. Good. One breath in again. This time as you exhale, draw your chin in towards your chest, and then inhale to ripple forward to your high plank. Ripple forward to your high plank. Nice opportunity here to engage all the way through the core. Belly is on, pressing the shoulder blades up to protect the shoulder joint. Take a nice long breath in here. And then as you're ready, exhale to bring your body in a nice straight line all the way back down to Mother Earth. And just take a little rest for a moment. So relax the tops of the feet. Maybe use your forearms as a little pillow. Take a couple of breaths and maybe even gently rock your pelvis left and right and loosen through the base of your spine. Good. Now that we've opened up through these bigger muscle groups, we're going to open up through the top of the arms as well. So very often when we run, and interestingly when we sit at desks for long periods of time, sit at a desk, we tend to C-curl our shoulders forward, and the bigger muscles here tighten and shorten. It's the same when we run. We use our arms to balance so much more than we realize, so we've got this beautiful step as we run, that these muscles contract a lot. It's important to open up through the muscles. So I'd like you to start by stretching through your right chest muscles. So what you're going to do is bring your right elbow in line with your right shoulder, like a cactus arm. Never lower than, it can be slightly higher than, and press your yogi hand down into the ground, so palm down. And then turn your right cheek onto the floor and soften down through your right shoulder. Bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Good. And then with a breath, I'd like you to exhale to draw the left side of your body up and over. Maybe you bend your left knee. Sometimes the foot can rest onto the ground as well. Depends on how high you want to come in your body. You're raising the left side of your body, but you're softening the right shoulder down, getting a really nice stretch through the front of your right chest muscle. So through the anterior deltoid and also into pec major. And if you raise your elbow slightly, I'll go into pec minor as well. Couple of breaths right here. You'll notice beautiful stretch all the way through the body too, because everything's interlinked. It's nice, isn't it? One more long breath. Stay for a full exhale. Big breath in. And then gently roll back onto the ground. And whilst it doesn't seem like you're doing much, you're going to take a little rest here for a couple of breaths before we come into the opposite side and stretch through the left chest muscle. Noticing any passing thoughts, letting them go. Maybe even allowing your breath to take your attention, your awareness, deeper into your body. We spend so much time alert and alive in our heads, listening to the stories of the mind. They're almost like trains leaving some central station, and before we know it, we're miles away from where we started, with this thought linking to that thought, etc., etc. Let it go, let it be calm, and bring your awareness out of your thoughts as much as you can and into your body. Breath is a beautiful vehicle to do this. Then getting ready for the other side. Shimmy your left elbow now down in line with your left shoulder. If the left elbow comes too low, we'll stress out the anterior deltoids. It's just the front of your shoulder. So we need the elbow to be at least in line with the shoulder, or maybe a little higher. This will bring it into pec minor. I like to stay with pec major. So broaden through the hand. Draw the right hand in underneath the right shoulder. Take a breath in. Soften the left shoulder and the left cheek onto the floor. Relax. Good. And then use an exhale to raise the right side of the body away from the ground. Maybe you can bend the right knee. Debbie's got lots of range here. She can rest a foot onto the floor. That may not be the case for yourselves. You might want to bring a block or a bolster or have something to rest onto. Just let it hang in midair. If there's any pinching in the raised knee, I need you to soften and relax out of this. So any pinching, let it go. And then just take a few really nice breaths. Softening down through the left shoulder and cheek and raising up a little through the right shoulder. Really nice stretch through your left chest muscle. Good. Letting go. For 2 more breaths. All the way in. All the way out. 1 more full breath in. Nice long exhale out as you gently soften the right side of your body back onto the ground. Take a little rest. Resting the arms and the head any way you wish. Maybe giving a little bit of movement through the sacroiliac joint. So the spine, plenty of different movement ranges in the spine depending on your physiology. But where your spine sits into your hip joints the SI joint area. There's a lot of fusion here, so there's very, very little mobility. It's a good idea just to softly move gently through this area just to keep that little bit of fluidity in the base of your spine. Good. For one more long breath. Nice. And just when we thought it'd be great to have a little rest, we'll be in Shavasana soon. Don't worry about it. I'd like you to come back to downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, exhale to lift the hips up towards the sky and draw your chest towards your thighs. Good. One big breath in. Long breath clears it out. Then inhale the right leg towards the sky. Exhale, draw the right knee into the chest, tiger curl it in, push the shoulder blades towards the sky and see if you can lift the right shin as far from the ground as possible. Good. And then step the right foot. If you can't get your right foot, as Debbie can, between your hands, just put it on the floor and walk it forward until the foot's between the hands. Good. Then soften your left knee onto the ground. And I want you to imagine you're going to shake someone's hand. So take your right hand and reach your right hand straight forward, like you're shaking somebody's hand. Beautiful. Take a full breath in. Now we've just opened up through the chest muscles, so this should be much more accessible. As you exhale, rotate the whole of your right arm all the way back. Now Debbie's reaching for a foot already. You may not be able to do this. You might want to grab a towel or a strap and help yourself. If you can get a hold of it, get a hold of that foot and draw it in, but raise the right shoulder a little higher and have a little play with drawing the foot towards the hip. As the foot comes in towards the hip, you'll get a bigger stretch through the quadriceps. Or if you drop your hip down, you'll get a slightly deeper stretch into your hip flexor. Or it might be the case that you can't quite get a hold of your hand, and that's absolutely, of your foot, sorry, and that's absolutely fine. Just reach towards it and be comfortable. And by the way, if you're feeling pain on your kneecap, it might be because the pressure is going straight into your knee, and that will hurt. You'll see Debbie's rolled all the way forward into her quadricep, which means that she's not got as much pressure on the kneecap. That's much more comfortable. One more long breath in. Good, and then as you exhale, softly let go of that left foot if you are holding it and bring the right hand all the way to the top right-hand corner of the mat. And we'll set up for a half kingfish pose. So gently walk your right foot, if you can bring your hand back here, sorry. Walk your right foot towards your left wrist and soften your right knee behind your right wrist. And then inhale to lift your chest. It's like you're arching through the front of your body. And exhale, walk your hands towards the top of the mat or beyond and begin to melt your heart down towards Mother Earth. Now, it might be the case that you can comfortably rest your head onto the floor if you can. If you can't, use a block and just place it underneath your forehead. And this will help relax and switch off some of the muscles in your back. Target area in this particular stretch is the bigger muscles through the glutes. So every time we take a step, we push off using the glute muscles, and they contract and they soften and they contract and they soften and they contract. So this stretch is allowing the 3 layers of the glutes, the biggest muscle group in the body, to open up. If you feel any pinching in your knee, it's important to come out of the pose. A good modification, if you're feeling pinching on the knee, is to bend your left knee and put your right foot on the top of the left knee and reach up between and either grab a hold of the shin or the thigh, and you'll still get a nice stretch through the right glute muscle. So any pinching in the knee, please take a modification. 2 more long breaths. Good, and then notice the whole of a breath leave your body. And then as you inhale, walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders. Raise your heart towards the sky. Roll your weight through your right sit bone. And see if you can go ahead and helicopter your left leg all the way around and take your left ankle past your right knee. Debbie, can you spin through 90 degrees so they can see what's going on? Good. Coming into half kingfish, we're going to come through a really nice rotation through a neutral spine. So we'll come into half kingfish. So I need you to walk your left hand onto the ground behind your left hip. And then inhale your right hand straight up towards the sky. Good. Maybe even try and touch the clouds with those fingertips. And exhale, draw your right elbow onto the front of your left knee. Staying long and neutral through your spine as you inhale to find length, exhale to rotate your left shoulder towards the back of your mat. Good. I'd like you to bring a little pressure through the sole of your left foot. It's almost like you're standing on your foot. Good. Inhale, find length. Exhale, rotate as much as you comfortably can through your range. One more long breath in. Stay for the exhale. Good. And then as you inhale, rotate through 180 degrees. Take a little counter twist. And then gently come back to center. And we'll set up for cow face. So you need to slide your left knee down over your right knee. Debbie makes this look easy, but you may need to come up onto a block, which will reduce the angle. Or if this doesn't do enough, you can also straighten out through your bottom leg. In this case, it would be your right leg. But if you stay in a pose as you are right now, Debbie, all we're going to do is take a breath in, and then exhale to place the hands on the floor and walk them forward to draw the chest down over the inner left thigh. Good, and what happens here is we get a really nice stretch through the outer left thigh and in behind the glutes into piriformis. It's a little muscle in there that hates being stretched. If you've got super range like Debbie has, you find this easy. You may find that your chest doesn't come as close to the ground. Please don't force this, just come as close as you're comfortable to. And then just take a really nice set of breaths. If you can lengthen your inhale and lengthen your exhale, you'll notice that the exhale is almost like an exhaust port for your tensions. Well done, yogis. We're nearly at that well-deserved Shavasana. Take a nice long breath in here. Stay for the whole exhale. Then inhale to come on up. Deep-pretzel yourself and come back into downward facing dog. Debbie, you're going to have to just turn right if you could for me. Thank you. And inhale your left leg to the sky. Now work slowly. If you notice any sensations in your body, be soft. Exhale, draw your left knee in towards your chest and tiger curl it on up. So press the shoulders up high and bring the shin nice and high so you can maybe even step your left foot between your hands. Good. Beautiful. Then gently soften your right knee onto the ground. Nice. And inhale to reach your left hand forward. It's like a left-handed shake. It's not the same as a right-handed shake. Feels a bit strange. Good. And when you're ready, let the breath leave your lungs completely empty and use an inhale to rotate your left hand all the way towards the back of your mat. You're reaching up and opening up through your left shoulder. Maybe you can bend up through your right knee. Maybe you can get a hold of your right foot. Same as before. Don't be worried if you can't. And also, if you notice that this side is different to the other side, that's normal. We're also asymmetrical. So you may be able to grab one foot easily and not the other, or the other way around, or both, or neither. Don't worry about it. Just find your own natural edge. And then maybe play a little bit with raising the left shoulder a little higher. Perhaps you can draw the foot in a little closer, or even drop the hips a little lower, as much as you comfortably can. Just playing with it to get a deeper stretch through the hips. For one more long breath in. Super calm exhale. Good, and then gently let go of the right foot and bring the left hand all the way to the top of the mat. And when you're ready, we'll set up for half pigeon on the other side, walking the left foot to the right wrist and dropping the left knee behind the left wrist. Inhale, the heart rises towards the heavens. For some of us, we can even reach up towards the sky as well. And then exhale, walk your hands forward like a lizard in a dry riverbed, opening up all the way so the heart can melt towards the earth, or in Debbie's case, onto the earth. Forehead can rest onto the earth if you've got the range. If you're resting your forehead onto the ground or onto a block, it feels really nice just to roll your forehead slightly to the right and slightly to the left. And this will just gently refer through all the vertebrae in your spine and even subtly through the sacroiliac joint as well. Just bring a little bit of fluidity here. Target area on this side is the left glute muscle, releasing all three layers of the glute, getting ready to go deeper into piriformis in just a moment. If you look for it, you'll find a connection between your heart and Mother Earth. She's right in front of you. She's supporting you. And the wonderful thing is that she always is, not just in our yoga. Good. For one more full breath. And then when you're ready, inhale to walk your hands back, raise your heart back up towards the heavens. Roll your weight through your left sit bone this time. And then see if you can helicopter your right leg all the way around until your right ankle passes your left knee. Debbie, perhaps you can turn through 90 degrees so they can see. Good. And then bring your right hand to the floor behind your right hip. And this time, inhale your left hand towards the sky like you could tickle the clouds. Exhale, bring your left elbow onto the front of your right knee. Good. You'll find that you can inhale to lengthen through your neutral spine. And as you exhale, you can spin your right shoulder towards the back of the room. Inhaling, the crown lifts, so we'll need to draw the chin in towards the throat slightly. A common tendency when we say lift the crown of the head that we do this. The chin comes up. The chin needs to come in through. You can find a neutral spine. And then we exhale. It's almost like we're squeezing some of the toxins out of the internal organs as they get rinsed through the middle of the twist. For one more breath. Good, and then as you exhale, spin all the way through 180 degrees counter twist. Press your right hand down the inside of your right foot. Beautiful. Then come back to center gently. Setting up for cow pose on the opposite side. Draw your right knee down towards your left knee, maybe using a block to sit onto if you need to. Remember, you can straighten out your left leg on this side. Debbie's not going to do that today because she doesn't need it. She's got the range. Good. Take a long breath in. And then gently reach your fingertips down towards the ground and walk your hands away from your thighs and rest your heart down. Remember, it's not about how far you can get towards the ground. It's about how much you allow yourself to move towards your own soft edge. And that will change as you practice. And the target area here, this stretch will come all the way down through your right thigh and into the back of the glutes and into piriformis on the right-hand side. It's also a beautiful stretch through the whole of the hip area. You'll extend through the spine. Or is it flex? I can never remember. We're nearly at Shavasana, yogis. Using the breath now to soften all of your body. Should feel really, really good. One more full breath. Let it fill your chest. So you can feel the chest expand completely. And then exhale all the way out. Let it go. If you're at home and you're loving this pose, you can stay for a little longer. Debbie and I are going to head into a Shavasana now. I always recommend that you come into Shavasana for at least 5 minutes. Debbie, I'm going to take this block away from you if you come into a downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, take a breath all the way to high plank. Good. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, lower your body all the way down to the ground. And relax onto the floor. Roll over onto your back. I've got a bolster here for Debbie because this is going to be really comfortable, but whatever you've got at home, you may want to just lay your legs out on the ground. I recommend that you stay here for at least 5 minutes. Maybe you allow your feet to just flop out gently. Maybe you allow your palms to rotate up towards the heavens. Take a really nice long breath in. Exhale, let go. And then find your stillness. Shavasana. Well done, everybody. Namaste.